Tony Fernandez is shortstop. Rance Mullinax at third base. Dave Collins in left field. Jesse Barfield in center field. George Bell in right. And Ernie Whitt behind the plate. Well, let's see here. What lineup we want to... Willie Randolph. I just did Willie. We'll do it again. Yeah, we'll do the Toronto Blue Jay lineup. All right, Damaso Garcia will lead it off, play second base. Batting second, Davy Collins in left field. Batting third, Rance Mullinax, the third baseman. Batting in the cleanup spot, Billy Upshaw, the first baseman. Batting fifth, George Bell in right field. Batting sixth, Willie Aikens, the designated hitter. Batting seventh, Ernie Whitt, the catcher. Batting eighth, Jesse Barfield in center field. And batting ninth, Tony Fernandez, the shortstop. Defensive alignment for the Yankees, Don Mattingly at first base, Willie Randolph at second, Bobby Meacham, the shortstop, Mike Pagliarulo at third base, Ken Griffey in left field, Omar Marino in center field, Dave Winfield in right, and Butch Weininger behind the plate. The umpires tonight, behind the plate, Jerry Neudecker. Davey Phillips at first base, Steve Palermo, the second base umpire, and at third base, Rick Reed. Dave Steve, with a record of 14-5 and a 2.38 earned run average, is on the mound. And Scooter, the one thing about Steve is that he's a strikeout pitcher. He's got 167 strikeouts in 200 innings pitched, a little over 200 innings pitched. And he likes to work fast. He likes to get the ball, get his rhythm, and pitch. He doesn't like to waste any time.
No, he doesn't. I remember in the stadium when he pitched that beautiful ball game against the Yankees, some of the Yankees were stepping out, and you could see he was upset. All right, Willie Randolph. And that pitch is ball one. You can see the way Steve's ball moves. He throws a hard fastball, good curve slider. Willie batting .292, and that's 2-0. You know, it's a little unusual for those Seagulls. They usually come about the 7th or 8th inning to pick up the peanuts and popcorn, whatever's left. But as you mentioned, Winfield's going to be in right field tonight, and that's where they're gathering.
Yeah.
3-0. Yeah, they don't know what they're in for.
Right.
Stay loose out there.
I'm glad it's not on getaway day, though.
Will you ever forget that, Mitch?
I'll
Stopping
never.
in a police station and booking Winfield? Ball 4 on 4 straight pitches.
Well, once in a while they have some problems coming in and out of customs here. How about you? How'd you do today?
Not too well.
Oh, really?
No, not too well. I must have a suspicious-looking face.
I think so.
All right, here's Bobby Meacham. Bobby batting .253. That dive bomber there just started down near the mound, went out. Good move, but Randolph is back.
Well, the temperature is 70 degrees. It's been beautiful here, temperature-wise, but we've had some rain all day yesterday and a little bit today as Willie gets back.
Yeah, we were lucky with the weather in Boston, and now here, I thought for sure this game was going to be rained out. 3 quick moves, but Willie got back each time.
The wind is really not a factor in this ballpark. If it does blow, it normally blows from left to right field.
Another quick throw. 4 in a row, and he has not thrown a pitch to Meacham as yet. Times in a row, and I tell you, everyone's been close. Well, I was wondering what that noise was, and Bobby just pointed out there's a plane up there with a big banner in the back.
There's how close it is. Probably about a half a hand.
Yep.
But it looks like Willie gets a little bigger lead every time Steve throws over there.
Yeah, he's got his foot on the carpet, and in that time he stepped off.
You're supposed to be able, Scooter, to judge it by the times that the pitcher throws over by how safely you get back. In other words, if you get back easily, you get a little half or more with the steps. And
whoa! was that close. I see what you mean.
Willie is about at the extended distance that he can get back safely. There's another
Look
throw
at
over.
this. If Upshur had gotten that ball down quicker. Now, that's 6 straight times he's thrown. He's going to tire Willie out, and then he won't have to worry about him trying to steal second.
Well, what about Willie tiring him out?
That's true.
Then he got to go to the bullpen, and you know what happens then,
Oh,
right?
man. And you saw Meacham bluff a bunt in case Randolph was gone. You know, that's so important, Bobby. The guy who hits in back of a guy that steals a lot of bases.
Absolutely. You know, we've talked about it many, many times, but everybody in the lineup compliments each other, and if you don't have somebody hitting behind you, you're in trouble.
Yep. 1-on-1.
And if you got a guy that's a contact hitter like a Mattingly or something like that, or Winfield, you know, and you got speedsters in front of you, you're going to knock in a lot of runs.
Plenty.
You're going to find those guys in scoring position all the time.
And we mentioned this the other day, but it's worth mentioning again. Another quick throw, Randolph back. For the first time, Eddie Murray has said just what you mentioned. For once, he would love to have somebody hitting behind him instead of them walking him with men on base.
Right.
Strike 2.
I think that's the one thing that really bothers a hitter is the fact that when there are men on base, they just love to hit. I mean, because RBIs, you really get a big thrill out of knocking a guy in, and
you get a lot of money for it too, right?
Well, that's the thrill that I was talking about. That's not the agony of defeat.
Right. Strike 3. That didn't look like a strike, but I tell you, it was a tough pitch at the 3 good fastballs. So Meacham let's look at it.
It's a breaking pitch, and it caught the inside corner just a little bit, so good call by Jerry Neudecker.
Meacham has trouble on that pitch.
Yes,
Seems like he gets that body over the plate. He can't handle it.
Away.
Yep. All right, here's Mattingly. And he's hitting .349. 181 hits. He needs 19 more for the magic 200. Ball 1. He's got 20 homers, 37 doubles, and 2 triples. And 8 more RBIs for the magic 100. Quick throw to first. What was your biggest RBI yard, Bobby?
Well, I had 96 one year. I had the same problem when I was playing. Well, we didn't have that good offensive ball clubs back in the early 70s.
No, that's for sure. That's a foul back. 1-on-1 to Mattingly. I hope that guy runs out of gas soon in that plane. I mean, not so he's got enough to land, but
he's driving. That is loud, isn't it?
Yep.
Well, I think he changed signs. That's not the same sign.
It's not. You're right.
The guy went and changed signs on us.
And a base hit for Mattingly.
That's going to go all the way to the wall.
And Randolph might score on this. And he's waving him in, and he's going to score. The Yankees got a break there with the ball hitting the wall and not carrying out to Dave Collins in left. So Mattingly gets another double, his 38th, and his 93rd run batted in.
Well, you knew this was going to be problems because it's wet out in the outfield, and on this artificial surface, it's fair about 1.5 feet. You can see Collins, and it just kind of stuck down there around the Toronto Blue Jay bullpen. Randolph around third base, and by the time Collins flips it in, Willie is across. So Yankees are out in front now, 1-0.
All right, here's Dave Winfield. And Winfield still leading the majors with a .352 average. 30 doubles, 4 triples, 18 homers, and 88 runs batted in.
We got to mention, Scooter, in the outfield, the outfielders are really going to have to be careful now because it's wet. And, boy, when that ball hits on that artificial surface when it's wet, it just takes off.
It's going to skip. You're right. Curve over, strike 1.
They'll have to be just a little bit extra careful tonight.
Well, you would know. I had never played on artificial surface. Oh, there's... Look, they all got an eye on Winfield. They are not taking their eyes off him. Boy, that would be terrible if he hit him with a batted ball. Bouncer to short. Tough play, and Hernandez couldn't handle it. Fernandez, that is. Now we'll have to wait and see what they give him. He was deep.
I think that's going to be an error. That high chopper, you get a lot of hits, though, on this artificial surface. And it was a one-hopper.
You're right, though, Bobby. They've given him an error.
Yeah.
Boy, that was really an in-between hop. So, first and second, one out. And Don Baylor hitting .253, 25 doubles, a triple, 26 homers, and 79 runs batted in. Foul, strike one.
Well, Bobby Cox, he is a little frustrated, I guess you could call him.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's the word for it, but
No, that's mild.
that is mild by coming in here. He thought that, well, they had an excellent shot at if they had to sweep Detroit
Yeah.
there. But to get swept, that's something else.
Oh, man, that's 6 games. You know, the difference
Oh,
is 6
absolutely.
games.
Now they're worried about staying in second place.
Yeah.
Everybody's bearing down on them now.
Right? They're only 2.5 ahead of Baltimore and only 3.5 ahead of the Yankees. Foul back again. 0-2. Sure, the Yankee pitchers are happy they don't have to face Wade Boggs anymore. Everything he hit was a base hit.
Yeah, well, he's an excellent, he's a contact hitter.
Yeah.
So if he gets into that streak, he's going to put a lot of hits.
Steve shaking off a couple of signs. Nope. One ball, 2 strikes. Well, the Cubbies won a big game today. 3-2.
The Cubs came back and won that
Yep.
ball game from Philadelphia.
Yep, 3-2. Unbelievable. That's high, 2-2.
Philadelphia was leading 2-0 in the 7th
I
inning.
know it. And, you know, that's the way they're playing. When you know yourself when you're playing on a team that's hot. They come back in the last innings. The Mets will feel that a little bit. They're doing a little scoreboard watching. But the Cubs are tough at home. A bounce to the third to second. I don't know why he didn't throw to first. He had a chance for the double play unless
Well, he was worried about Winfield.
Force play 5-4. Very unusual.
Yeah, but right here, watch this. I'm not sure that Baylor hit the ball hard enough. You can see the third baseman Mullinex. Now he'll throw it over to Garcia, but Winfield's right on top of
Yeah.
him. He didn't want any part of it. And you can see, just as soon as Winfield gets off the bases, there's no more seagulls.
That's right. Unbelievable.
Wouldn't that be something? Alfred Hitchcock and
Ken Griffey takes the strike. 2 out, first and third. Yanks leading 1-0. I'll never forget that movie, The Birds.
yeah, that's what I was talking about.
I knew you were. That's why I said I'd never forget. That scared me for many a moon. I wouldn't go out when I saw a bird. Base hit up the middle. That'll get another run in. And Baylor will go to third. Boy, I tell you, if you're a ground ball or line drive hitter on this stuff, you got a career ahead of you.
Well, remember the last time we were here in early June, by the time Blue Jays were through bouncing and chopping and running and
Right.
hitting on this stuff, was already 5-0 in the
Yeah.
first inning in every ball game.
That's
There were
right.
A lot of blowout games, a lot of high-scoring games here at Exhibition Stadium. But you're right, Scooter. I tell you what, looks like Steve's a little
He is
concerned
hot.
about
Yep.
something. But anyway, you can score lots and lots of runs on this artificial stuff.
Well, Ernie Witt came out. He knows he's upset. And it could be one of the things, the error by Fernandez, and then Garcia not even trying for the double play. But Steve is right up there with the league leaders, 14-5. And they're all battling for that Cy Young award as Weiniger takes the strike. Butch hitting .269, 13 doubles, a triple, 5 homers, 41 runs batted in. Looks like Boddicker right now has got the inside track.
Yeah, he won his 18th game yesterday.
Another shutout. That's low.
Boddicker has 4 shutouts this year. Ojeda leads the league with 5.
Oh. But he's not
Boddicker-
up there in wins, though, is he, Ojeda?
No. Boddicker leads the league in wins with 18.
2 balls and a strike. 2 out. It's first and third.
But listen to this, followed by 3 Tiger pitchers. Morris with 17, Petrie with 16, and Milt Wilcox with 16. Negro also has 16, so he's right there with him.
Yep. And Phil unfortunately lost that start up in Boston. Bounce it is short. Oh, look at that. Oh, man, I tell you, that is too nonchalant. If I were a pitcher, look at Steve is very unhappy with that play. Why they got to one-hand him and flip and almost miss the play? But the Yankees pick up 2 runs, and at the end of 1/2 inning, it's the Yankees 2 and the Blue Jays coming to bat.
Well, the Yankees take off here at Exhibition Stadium as they come up with 2 runs in the top half of the first inning. Blue Jays are coming to bat here in the bottom of the first. Damaso Garcia will lead it off. He'll be followed by Dave Collins and Rance Mullinax. There you take a look at the count. John Bonifusco, his record this year is 2-2 with a 4.08 earned run average. He was out quite some time with a chest sprain, and then when he got over that, he had an automobile accident, and that really sidelined him with a neck injury for a while. He went on the disabled list back in April the 29th. His last start was against these after coming off the disabled list on September the 4th. He only went an inning and a half against Toronto in Yankee Stadium. He had to leave the game with a sore right hip.
Isn't that something?
He was throwing the ball good, but something happened, and his right hip wasn't acting right, so he had to leave the ball game.
All right, he's facing Damaso Garcia. Batting .292, and I don't think that pitch counted. The umpire walked away. Jerry Neudecker was not ready, so the umpires can do that. If they're not ready, they can say no pitch.
Right.
The count was supposed to start a game in Boston, right? And
yeah, yesterday. He was supposed to start yesterday's ball game, but they gave him another day's rest.
Swing and a miss. You know, there's a lot of pitchers go up to Fenway Park and have nightmares when they know they got a pitch with that green monster right in back of shortstop. Foul out of play.
Most of them left-handed pitchers.
Yep. Oh, great catch by a fan there. 0-2 on Garcia. Tough to get one by this guy, isn't it?
No, he's a free swinger. I don't care where the ball is. It bounced 2 feet in front of the plate, he'll get a piece of it. Here it is. Look at this, Scooter.
Where it is, I mean, his backside's out, and he just reached the ball, almost hit the ground, he fouled it off. Ground ball, Bobby Meacham. Oh, that says that overhand throw, and Mattingly scooped it out, and they got him.
That was close.
Yep.
There it is again. The ball took a high hop on Bobby, and he gave it all he had. Boy, just by a step, too.
Yep.
Damaso Garcia with good speed. Davey Collins has good speed,
oh,
too.
Boy, he's got over 50 stolen bases. He's got 52 to be exact, and batting .309. 20 doubles, 14 triples, 2 homers, and 40 runs batted in. Foul back, strike 1.
Do you believe what that cameraman told you?
Yes,
birds?
I certainly do. That's right. That's an
scary,
interesting story. We've got to talk about that. Ground ball right at Willie. And they get Collins 2 men out. Anyway, the story goes that Bobby and I were talking half-jokingly about whenever the Yankees and Winfield come here, the Seagulls land on the field. And our cameraman told us that that's true. He said no other team do they come and land on the field, only when the Yankees are here now.
Well, everybody wants to see the Yankees play. No matter where we go, we bring people. Seagulls, birds, everything.
Mullinax fouls it off. Strike 1. Mullenix batting .326. He's only been up 301 times, not enough times to qualify for the batting championship. Strike 2. But he's got 21 doubles, 4 triples, and 3 homers, 36 runs batted in. Yanks leading 2-0 in the bottom of the first. One ball, 2 strikes. Two out, nobody on. And a base hit right up the middle. So base hit number 1 for the Blue Jays. And it will bring up Willie Upshaw. Upshaw hitting .292. 30 doubles, 9 triples, 19 homers, and 82. Look at that.
Uh-oh, what dugout is that?
Look at that. There's one ripped to right. It's a base hit. Winfield's got it, and Mullenix holds at second base. 2 out, back-to-back singles. And the batter will be George Bell, hitting .298. 34 doubles, 4 triples, 22 homers, and 75 runs batted.
Scooter, American League President Dr. Bobby Brown has suspended Yankees left-handed Ray Fontenot for 3 games. Opening are supposed to begin on Monday for his actions participating in a bench clearing incident between the Yankees and the Angels September the 2nd in California.
While you're talking, a seagull, look at here.
Oh.
Right by home plate. He's
Give him a bat. He doesn't want to leave either, does he?
Now this I've never seen.
I haven't either.
I hope he's not injured. They're blaming. Oh, there he goes. No, he's hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt.
Having trouble.
No, he's not.
There he go.
He's gonna
Look at.
He kissed Pagliarulo as he went by. I don't believe that.
Now he's heading out. Nope. Now he's going to land in left field in front of Griffey. He's got his fields mixed up. Winfield's pointing out there. He says, send him out to me. That was weird. Foul back, strike 1.
Anyway, Fontenot has been suspended, and Fontenot has already appealed the suspension and requested a hearing Thursday. The suspension will be delayed until the results of the hearing is known. So that just in, I thought I'd throw it out to you.
Yeah, well, what's good about it is with that appeal, Fontenot's scheduled a pitch Wednesday, so he'll be able to pitch as long as the appeal is in effect. And then they can put him on the suspended list or whatever it is, and he can miss 3 days. 1-1, the count on Bell. 2 out, 2 on. The Yankees lead 2-0. 2 balls and a strike. Looked like an easy inning for the count. Got Garcia to bounce to short, Collins to second. But then suddenly 2 base hits and now a 3-1 count on Bell. And that should do it. Pagliarulo off balance throw in time. Good strong arm by Pag. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left, end to 1. The Yankees 2 and Toronto nothing.
Well, the Blue Jays have made a defensive change. Alfredo Griffin will now go in to play second base for the Blue Jays. Damaso Garcia leaving the ball game. As good as that could have been, they might have had a little argument in the dugout after the inning was over with, because you could see Steve was upset about something. It looked like Garcia wasn't giving it his best.
Yeah, that could very well be. Here's Pagliarulo. Mike hitting .262. And he rips. Nope, he hit it off the end of the bat. Thought he had gotten it good, but flies out to right field.
Well, all fans attending the Yankees-Orioles game on Monday night, September the 17th, will take home a free baseball poster. Compliments of American Home Foods. Good seats are still available for the Orioles series, September the 17th through the 19th. So make plans to come out to the ballpark and see the Yanks take on the defending world champs. Get your free poster.
All right, Bobby, and here's Marino hitting .259, ball one. Yeah, we might read something about that in the paper tomorrow. There. A little fracas maybe with Steve and Garcia. That's ball two to Omar. Marino has 11 doubles, 5 triples, 4 homers, 34 runs batted in. Straight away center. And going back and then one-handing it. Jesse Barfield. 2 men around. Ball doesn't sound good tonight. I don't know whether it's...
Well, they've been hit off of the end of the bats anyway. There hasn't really been a ball hit that hard in the ball game yet. Do you see how far Palermo went out to center field?
No, I missed that. Good job.
Oh, he was out there about 5 steps away from the center fielder.
All right. Willie Randolph, who walked and scored his first time up, takes the ball. One and one. Two balls and a strike. Now, I am not very observing, Bobby Mercer, but are these new sweaters or something the umpires have, or have they been wearing them all year? Foul out of play.
Well, they haven't been wearing them lately. You take a look at Palermo in his new sweater.
Yeah.
See, he's on his way out to center field now. And by the time Barfield catches the ball, he's only about 5 feet away from him.
Well, that's a hustling umpire.
But, you know, it's been too hot to wear sweaters.
Well, that's true. They are neat looking. He jammed them and he fouled it off, but it's into the seats.
But I think I recall seeing the sweaters once before, early in the season.
Okay. Yeah, nice looking.
They're really cute. They really are. I like them.
Cute. All right. Little high. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
See how cute that sweater is on
Look at that.
Phillips?
And a foul back. Yeah, Steve doesn't mind throwing that breaking pitch on 3-2 when he's behind. Willie now with 75 walks on the year. And that was right down Broadway. Strikeout, 3 up, 3 down. At the end of an inning and a half, it's the Yankees 2, Toronto nothing, and we are now going to pause for station identification.
Well, bottom of the second inning, Willie Mays Aikens, the designated hitter, will lead it off. He'll be followed by the catcher, Ernie Whitt, and then Jesse Barfield. What do you think about Willie Mays Aikens, Scooter? I wasn't. Well, maybe I shouldn't say this, but I couldn't believe that the Blue Jays wanted a guy like Willie Mays Aikens.
Yeah.
The artificial surface is not going to help him.
Nope.
But he can't run.
Right.
And I guess they only got him for his power. He's not going to play first base.
Nope, not with Upshaw there. No, I was kind of surprised, too. Pitch is high, ball 1.
Hits the ball basically to center field and left center. He's not a pull hitter.
Nope. He's batting only .210, and he's jammed, fouls it off, 1-1.
And as we said, the wind blows from left field to right field, so it's beneficial to a pull-headed, left-handed pull hitter.
Sure is. And that's fouled. It might be playable. Yes, look at the wind, as Bobby said, coming from left to right, kept it in, 1 out. Actually, Willie Wilson is the only one of the three who was sent away that came back and is having a good year. And Wilson is having a fine year.
Well, of course, Akins is not playing much, and Jerry Martin is not playing much for the Mets, and Willie Wilson's really the only everyday player, too.
That's true. All right, here's Ernie Whitt. Whitt hitting .247 with 12 doubles, a triple, 12 homers, and 39 runs batted in. Strike one. John Montefusco. He's going to be a gentleman farmer, I understand. Bought a farm. New Jersey, yep. 1-1.
Now, what do you mean by a gentleman farmer?
Well, that means that he'll get somebody else to till the soil and take care of the cattle. He won't get his hands dirty, so he'll be
I see.
That'll be out of play. One ball, 2 strikes. As Bobby told you, the Yankees are battling for second place along with Toronto and Baltimore. And 4 big games here with the Blue Jays. And that might come back. Not quite. Nope.
Well, let's see. Toronto is in second place, 11.5 games back of the Tigers. Baltimore is in third place, 14 games back. New York is in fourth, 15 games back. Boston's in fifth, 16.5 games.
Right, they're not out of it yet either. Just missed. 2-2.
You know, the thing about the Blue Jays being able to, if they could have swept Detroit here, Detroit doesn't have an easy schedule to go play. From here, they went to Baltimore.
Right.
Baltimore's playing great ball.
Slow ground to the second. Willie short hops it, throws him out. 2 away.
But anyway, it didn't happen. Some scores, Scooter.
Yep.
In the American League, Baltimore 2, the Tigers nothing. That's after 2 innings of play. Flanagan against Berenguer. Milwaukee and Boston are tied at 1 apiece after an inning and a half. Kansas City's at Minnesota tonight.
Ooh, that's a big series.
Chicago's at Oakland. How you like Kansas City? 1 game in front. They took over there.
Unbelievable. Dick Hauser is.
Texas is at Seattle.
All right, Jesse Barfield. Asked for time now. He's got 1 strike on him.
I swear to you, when we saw Kansas City the last time, they were the most pitiful-looking ball club I ever saw.
Unbelievable. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
And I guess Hauser just pieced everybody together there, you know, and just did a little bit here, a little bit there, and pulled them together last part to move right up into a 1-game lead. That's unbelievable.
Says his secret weapon is that Quisenberry.
Oh, well, I guess so.
Boy. Got him. 3 pitches, and he struck him out. 3 up, 3 down, and at the end of 2, it's the Yankees 2 and Toronto nothing.
Get your tickets early. That's the Blue Jays and the Yankees continuing this series.
Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and WPIX and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and account of this game, or any segment thereof without the express written consent of the New York Yankees is prohibited. So don't do it.
All right. Bobby Meacham struck out his first time up. Called out on strikes. Tries to bunt, fouls it off. Strike 1.
Let's see, in the National League, Scooter, St. Louis and New York are scoreless after 2 innings of play. Montreal's at Pittsburgh. Atlanta's at Houston. Not much going on in the National League tonight.
What about that Cubby score? Don't you have it?
Don't have it. But the Cubs, you said the Cubs came back.
The Phillies 3-2.
3-2, yeah.
Foul back. 2 strikes on Meacham.
only report the facts, and that's what they put in front of me. And
That's
so
the best way.
I'll just have to take your word for it, you know. So you're out on the limb right now until I get the fact that the Cubs did come back and beat Philadelphia 3-2.
All right. All right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yankees scored 2 in the first inning, and that's it. 2-0. They lead the Blue Jays. A little pop-up, and Steve's going to. How do you like that? I don't think he trusts anybody out there. That was a pretty play.
Over-the-shoulder catch for Dave Speed, too. And that's that breaking pitch that he got Meacham out on the last time. It struck him out. But look at here. You can see out of his eyes that neither Griffin or Fernandez is going to get to the ball. So he took charge.
He sure did. 1 away, and now Don Mattingly with that magic wand up there. Strike 1. Mattingly doubled to drive in a run and then later scored. Full foul. 0-2.
Well, Dave Stieb is on a current 2-game win streak. He had his best start of his career this year, jumping out 5-0. But he doesn't do too well against the Yankees.
Nope.
He's 1-5 overall.
That is tough. He had a lot of no decisions, and again, that's the cause of the bullpen. Oh, he's out. He could not check, and very seldom you see Mattingly look that bad on a check swing.
Well, let's take a look at it.
Way out of the strike
Yeah,
zone.
down and in.
All right, here's Big Dave with 2 out. He reached on an error his first time up. Was I right?
All right, a final. Philadelphia 2.
Come on, hurry up.
Chicago 3. You're right.
When did they score? You said that
In the 8th inning.
all 3 runs.
Chicago came up with 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. They only had 5 hits in the whole ball game. Both teams with 5 hits.
Oh, good curveball. Two out, nobody on.
So it's that's a fact.
All right. That's out of play. Just below us. You know what's unusual, Bobby? The people here in Toronto see more Yankee games on our station than they do Toronto games.
Is that right?
Yeah, I just found that out tonight. Unbelievable. Aye. 2-2.
Well, no wonder they're Yankee crazy up in this area.
They said they only get 1 Toronto game a week, and they get us at least 3 times.
Super.
Strike 3. Winfield, look, he is upset. You don't very seldom see Winfield this upset. 3 up, 3 down, and at the end of 2.5, it's the Yankees 2 and Toronto nothing.
Well, the Yankees take on 2 big Eastern. I wish I could read this upside down. I can't read it. Let me turn it upside down. Let me read it and go along with the screen. Oh, that's not up. I thought that was a reflection. I'll tell you. Well, anyway, the Yankees take on 2 big Eastern Division rivals during the next homestand, which begins this Friday night, September the 14th. The Red Sox will invade Yankee Stadium for a 3-game weekend series to be followed by the world champion Baltimore Orioles, September the 17th through the 19th. And all fans attending the Yankees-Orioles game on September the 17th will receive a free baseball poster, compliments of American Home Foods.
Well, Fernandez gets a base hit to left field. Griffey misplayed it and kicks it. And Fernandez is going to go for the whoop. He had an idea and went back. Oh, Griffey really had problems with that ball. Knocked it down with his glove, kicked it against the wall, and went by him.
Well, take a look at it right here. Tony Fernandez slicing one down in the left field corner. You can see the ball as it skips, and it will do that on that wet surface. Fernandez with good speed. Griffey tried to trap it up against the wall, and it got away from him.
Bunt. They'll never get him. A base hit. Boy, I tell you, that was a beautiful bunt by nope, that's
Griffin.
Alfredo Griffin, who took over for Damaso Garcia.
Hey, take a look at it. He was either going to get a base hit or a sacrifice, and it turned out to be, once you get it by the pitcher, with the speed that Griffin has, you're going to get a base hit.
Willie
and a
tried
good percentage play because Willie was playing pretty far back at second base. So you see Fernandez getting back to third now. Now you've got speed at the corners for the Blue Jays, something we were talking about. Davy Collins coming back.
Yeah, man, they got a lot of speed. 3 of their fastest runners, and Collins bounced to second his first time up. You know, before when I was telling Bobby that they get more Yankee games than Blue Jay games here, Pat Gillick, who used to be with the Yankees, now is the vice president of baseball operations, came storming in here. He got mad at Bobby, but
he got mad at me. Yeah, you're the one that brought it up.
It was my fault. Throw to first.
We understand they only get, what, 29 games.
I was just going by what the fans told me, so.
Well, I always believe the fans until I'm corrected, and
ball 1 to Collins. Yankees lead 2-0, but the Blue Jays are threatening. First and third, nobody out.
You're always getting me in trouble.
I know.
I tell you.
I got to be careful. Like you say, I got to get the facts. Throw to first, Griffin back. Top of the plate. Strike. 1-1. Another throw to first. Look at Montefusco. He wanted
that. Was close.
Yep. Count a little upset with that call.
See how close it is.
Yep. Just broke outside. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody out. 3-1.
Neudecker is one of the very few American League umpires who uses that balloon, you know.
Yep.
They don't use the inside chest protector. Rance Mullinex on deck. Which would you prefer if you were an umpire?
That big
balloon?
One, as much protection. I don't think they get enough protection with that other one. They get hit on the shoulder. They get hit on the arms. Hopped it up. Griffin was going. And coming in, Griffey. Meacham falls down to get out of the way. He better throw. Holy cow. Griffey does not have that strong an arm, and he bluffed a few times, and Fernandez started, almost went. He'd have scored. So that's a break for the Yankees. 1 out. You see Meacham fall down to get out of the way of that possible collision and throw. All right, that'll bring up, here it is.
It's slippery out there.
Yes, it is.
Now is when in the outfield you really have to wear steel spikes because you can't wear those rubber because they will really slip and slide on that wet surface. It's one of the very few. Most of them wear the rubber shoes when it's dry, but when it gets wet, you've got to go to your steel spikes.
All right. Mullinex single to center his first time up. First and third, 1 out. Ball 1. And Montefusco is keeping an eagle eye on Griffin. Griffin has stolen 10 bases this year, been caught only 3 times. And he throws over again. Foul tip held by Weiniger, 1-1.
Look at that fastball dip down and away from Mullinex.
And a lot of motion, George. A lot of movement, I should say. And he moves Griffin back again.
We never have got a report on why Garcia left the ball game, have we?
I think we hit the nail on the head again. Oh, base hit to center field. Big base hit. Run scores. That'll send Griffin to third. And Collins gets an RBI single, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Mullinex got that base hit. What am I talking about, Collins? Collins had fly to left.
Well, here's Mullinex or Collins. I don't know. Wait, no, that's Mullinex. Base hit right up the middle. Willie gave a good try, but couldn't come up with it. Look how Marino is really walking on ice out there, looks like.
He really did.
Careful from falling down.
All right, Willie Upshaw single to right, his first time up. Fouls it off. Yankee dugout, strike 1. So it's Yankees 2 and the Blue Jays 1. 1 man out in the bottom of the third. Hit center field. And Collins. Why do I keep saying Collins?
I don't know.
That was Mullinex stops at second. Upshaw gets an RBI. We got a 2-2 ball game.
Here it is. And a breaking pitch. It just kind of hangs right on the kind of the outside part of the plate. Upshaw lines it into center field. Griffin comes on to score. Mullinex stops at second base. And Mark Connors is out to talk to Montefusco.
All right, and George Bell will be the batter. And we just get a wire up here in the booth, Bobby. Our buddy Don Scala's wife, Yolanda, celebrating a birthday today.
Oh, good. Happy birthday.
Don probably gave her one of his beautiful logos that he makes. Strike 1 to Bell.
Well, he won't give anybody else any, so he might as well give her one. Here it is. I think you're... is this what came over
That's what came over.
PR?
Yep.
Garcia was replaced for defensive reasons. So that's maybe an attitude problem.
Yep. Could very well be.
You and I guessed it.
All right. 1-1. Still only 1 man out and the ball game tied up. Popped it up, but it's over the Yankee dugout into the crowd. Two ball, make that 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think probably in the next, I would say, next 2 to 4 years, they'll probably have a new ballpark, Dome Stadium here in Toronto. They've already really passed it, haven't they?
They passed it, and now they just got to come up with the loot.
It's the biggest city in Canada, and they have the worst ballpark.
Yeah, they
Montreal has a beautiful ballpark. Vancouver just built a brand new.
Oh, isn't that something? He pops it up. And the shallow center, Randolph back. The infield fly rule is called. 2 men are out. Yeah, that's true. Vancouver's dying to get a big league team up there.
Well, you would think the biggest city in Canada would probably have at least the nicest ballpark. Not that this ballpark is bad, but it's really a football stadium. It's they play football and baseball here. It could use a little improvements because of the seating. I mean, you know, you can get seats where you can't really see the baseball game very well.
Got to bring binoculars. All right, here's Willie Aikens, popped to third, his first time up. Ball 1.
Bob Shirley is warming up in the Yankee bullpen.
Two out, 2 on, 2-2 the score. Two and 0. Blue Jays have 4 hits this inning, a total of 6 off Montefusco in the game. Bouncer foul.
Well, the Blue Jays, even though they're in second place and were swept by the Tigers this year, they have they're only 9 wins away from a franchise high. Last year they had 89 wins, which was a record set by their Toronto Blue Jay franchise. They get 90 wins this year. They're only 9 wins shy of that. If they get 90, they'll set a new mark for themselves.
A lot of times 90 wins will win your divisional title.
You're right in it, I can tell you that. Most of the time.
Yep. Foul back and out of play.
I love Sparky Anderson's quote. He says, what are we supposed to do? Apologize for having a 35 and 5 record, or 32 and 5 record in the first month? Or whatever it was.
Yeah, it was phenomenal, whatever it was. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, 2 men on. 2-2 the score. Bottom of the third. And Aikens asks for time. They're the runners at first and second. Mullenix at second and Upshaw at first. And Aikens on the toes of his right foot. Oh! Montefusco really wanted that one. That was a good pitch. Look at him. He throws his arms up in the air.
Yeah.
Watch this pitch. It's that inside corner, then curves.
Yeah. Had to call it for low.
Yep. All right, the runners will be off. It's 3-2 with 2 out.
Dave Stieb is 1-5 against the Yankees career-wise here at Exhibition Stadium, and 5-7 overall. But you would think Stieb would be tougher here than he would to be in Yankee Stadium.
And Upshaw is having some dizzy spells or something. He stepped out, put his hands on his knees, and leaned over.
I think he is having a little problem with his contacts, maybe.
Oh, that's
if he wears them.
He wants to make sure no blurred vision at all. That could be very dangerous. Lose a ball thrown by the pitcher. Watch that right heel come up off the ground. Runner's gone. He strikes him out anyway. So 2 runs on 4 hits, no errors, 2 men left. Bobby Mercer's going to carry you along, and on the Citibank scoreboard at the end of 3, it's the Yankees 2 and the Blue Jays 2.
Top of the 4th inning, Don Baylor will lead it off. Ken Griffey will follow, and then Butch Weininger. Blue Jays came up with 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's now Yankees 2, Toronto 2. Dave Stieb on the mound for the Toronto Blue Jays. Baylor hit into a fielder's choice his first time.
Leading off the 4th for the Yankees, the designated hitter number 25, Don Baylor.
Been a lot of questionable calls around the plate tonight by both pitchers, Stieb and Montefusco. Nothing that flagrant, though, as Frank Messer is positioned into his right position now and about ready to go. Right, Frank?
Yeah, I think so, Bobby.
All right.
And good evening, everybody, wherever you might be watching our Yankee baseball game. Hope you're having a pleasant evening. We're tied at 2.
Whoops.
Hit him. Only the 18th time this year, I believe.
It looked like he tried to get out of the way of that pitch. He's been, you're right, 18. It's a breaking pitch, and it's right on the same spot as Baylor has been hit 18 times. Not a half-inch above and not a half-inch below.
You mean he's got a groove spot there? Maybe that's why they call him Groove.
They might.
Ken Griffey. With Baylor on, nobody out. Griffey singled in a run in the first inning. It was his 48th RBI of the year. High fly, shallow left. The shortstop is calling for it. It's left fielder's ball, but Fernandez calls and makes a very nonchalant one-hand grab. Some talk today, Bobby, about the possibility of making a relief pitcher out of Dave Stieb.
Well, they could certainly use some help in the bullpen, but you have to wait and see what they come up with this winter. I'm sure that's what they'll be shopping for is bullpen help. That's what they went after last year in Dennis Lamp and Brian Clark, but neither one of those guys have worked that good out of the bullpen.
Weiniger, base hit, past Upshaw. Baylor's going to try for third, maybe a play, throw to third, and they've got him. No, he's safe. Well, how did he miss him? Mullenix, how in the world did he ever miss the tag down there?
Well, he had to come off the bag. He had to come up the line a little bit to grab the relay throw from Bell in right field. Here it is. Past Upshaw into right field. Now the throw, and you'll see Mullenix come up the line just a little bit. And then try to get back to make the tag. And it looked like that Baylor did a 1-2 on him. He's tagged the front foot, and the front foot stopped short. He kind of wheeled the back foot around and put it on the bag before Mullenix could put the tag on it.
Well, it's a good slide by Baylor. I thought they were going to have him easily. Here's Pags. Fouled it off. Magliarulo fly to right his first time at bat. Go-ahead run down at third base. 1 out. Well, good move by Baylor after all, going from first to third on that hit to shallow right. Weiniger at first base with the Yankees' third hit of the game. Dave Stieb, 5-7 lifetime against the Yankees, but an ERA better than his record, a .303 earned run average. Ball and a strike.
Scooter and I were talking about, you know, he's 1-5 here in Exhibition Stadium. I thought that was a little, it didn't sound right. I think he would be a little tougher here at Exhibition Stadium than he would be in Yankee Stadium. But who knows? Can you imagine this ball club had Quisenberry or Righetti?
Well, I'll tell you, if they'd had a Quisenberry or Righetti in the bullpen last year, they'd have won the division. And this year, very possibly, I don't know that they would have won it, but they'd still be fighting for it. I believe they lost 29 games out of the bullpen this year. Fouled off for a count of 2-2 on Pags. Now that is really the Achilles tendon of the Toronto Ball Club right now is the bullpen. And when they talk about putting Stieb in there, Bobby Cox emphasizes it has nothing to do with the Yankees' move of Righetti from the rotation to the pen. Strike 3. Pags is caught looking. 5th strikeout for Stieb, and that was a big one for him with a runner at third and only 1 out. There are now 2 down. And the batter will be Omar Moreno. Cox said they considered it last year. He said so it was not a follow-up to the Yankees' success in moving Righetti out of the rotation to the bullpen. Cox emphasizes that. He also emphasizes it's just in the thinking stage right now, and there's nothing definite. But what is definite is they've got to get a stopper in the bullpen, whether it be Bruce Sutter or Dave Stieb or whom. Strike one to Moreno. I was in Cox's office. We were talking about the possible move, and among those in the office was Tim Thompson, a scout for the Cardinals, and Sutter's name came up. 1-1 pitch. Fouled off. Cox, tongue-in-cheek, now said, how are we going to get Sutter? He said, with all the money the Cardinals have, and as poor as we are, looking right at Thompson and laughing. He said, how in the world could we ever make a
poor little franchise like Toronto?
That's right.
A guy like Sutter.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. 1-2. Fly ball out into shallow left center. The center fielder Barfield is there. And the Yankees are retired, so they missed a golden opportunity to take the lead. In the middle of the fourth, it's New York 2 and Toronto 2.
Well, remember, fans, Ticket World, the new source for Yankee tickets, has the best seats available in your neighborhood throughout the tri-state area, including all drug fair locations. To order by phone or find your nearest Ticket World outlet, call 212-888-9000. Well, as Frank told you, the Yankees missed a golden opportunity back in the last inning, top of the fourth inning, to take the lead here at Exhibition Stadium. It's tied 2 apiece. Ernie Whitt will lead it off here in the bottom of the fourth, followed by Jesse Barfield and then Tony Fernandez. Frank?
Whitt grounded out to second baseman Randolph, his first at bat. I don't know whether you and Scooter had a chance to mention, or if you cared to talk about the update on Ray Fontenot and his 3-day suspension.
We did talk about it. Mentioned it about the appeal and probably the appeal so he can get his started on Wednesday.
Ernie Whitt takes a ball from John Montefusco. Montefusco got really through the first inning okay. Gave up a couple of hits. 3 up, 3 down in the second, and then trouble in the third when he gave up 4 hits. 2 balls and no strikes. You know, if you really, to suspend a starting pitcher for 3 days, you almost have to suspend him for 15, don't you? He works every 5 days.
You mean to really make it hurt?
Yeah. Well, if you're a starting pitcher and get a suspension, if you can choose your time to serve it, you make a start, serve your suspension, come back. You won't miss a start. Yeah. 2 balls and a strike, the count. And Randolph, nice play. That ball started tailing away from his glove side, and he reached out and speared it in a big ice cream cone. Look at Willie shake his head. Yeah, Willie.
Yeah, he went the opposite way you were going, right?
Well, there's 1 out. That was a tough out. Jesse Barfield now struck out in the second. Scores tied 2-2 here at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto. You notice the outfielder sort of tippy-toeing around and not digging too hard. You can understand. You take a look out there and you see how wet the outfield is. That is very slippery, as Bobby Mercer could attest better than I. When you get this AstroTurf wet, it becomes almost like glass. Center field, but right at Moreno. Hardly had to move for it. We had a lot of rain last night. In fact, it was pouring rain when the Yankee charter plane came in. Rained all night long, stopped sometime early this morning. The infield was covered. As you can see, it's dry, but where the dark spots are, that is water, or where it's wet. And it becomes very, very slippery. 2 outs, and Tony Willie Fernandez slapped a double to left field to ignite a 2-run rally in the third. That's foul. Fernandez is a switch hitter. He had a lot of publicity before he ever wore a Blue Jay uniform. They talked about him last year down in the farm system as being quite a phenom. And he's lived up to it pretty well as far as his batting average is concerned. Came in this game hitting 284. He's now hitting at 288. Foul ball.
Switch hitter.
Switch hitter.
He's got speed, a lot of speed.
Seems to make the plays.
Yeah, he's got a good arm at shortstop, makes the plays, and he makes them nonchalantly, though. That scares Scooter to death, but he does get it. The bottom line is you can just go ahead and make it, no matter what it looks like.
Strike three. He is caught looking, and that retires the side as Montefusco logs his third strikeout. At the end of 4 here in Toronto, the score, the Yankees 2 and the Blue Jays 2.
Here at Exhibition Stadium in Toronto, Ontario. Tie ball game, 2 apiece. Dave Stieb on the mound. It'll be Willie Randolph, Bobby Meacham, and then Don Mattingly. And who is that down? Is that Guidry loosening up a little bit for the first time? That's that is Guidry down the Yankee bullpen.
Yep, you're right, Bob.
First time I've seen him with a ball in his hand since he was placed on the disabled list with a cartilage rib injury. Glad to see him with a ball in his hand.
Yes, sir. Willie Randolph leads it off. Randolph walked on 4 pitches in the first inning and came in to score. Then he was called out on strike on a 3-2 pitch his second time up. Well inside, 2-0. Out of strike. Steve has struck out 5. He's walked 1 and hit a batter. He falls behind 3 balls out of strike. One trademark Steve has had throughout his career is his good control. Full count. Center, that's going to be a base hit for Randolph. See how high that ball bounced off the AstroTurf? I think they bounce higher when it's wet out there than when it's dry.
Well, this particular artificial surface, Frank, is really hard. And that did bounce a little higher than normal, but for some reason or another, it depends on the padding that they put down underneath this artificial surface. And this right here is very, very hard.
Bobby Meacham up, and he shows bunt, takes a fastball away. Meacham is 0 for 2 tonight. He has been called out on strikes and popped up to the pitcher. That's not unusual to see Steve field a fly ball. He was an infielder. Strike 1-1, foul tipped it. When Bobby Cox was asked if they did move Steve to the bullpen, how would he react mentally? Cox said that man could mentally adjust to any position on the ball club. He said he can pitch. If you asked him to catch, he could catch. He can play the outfield. He can play the infield. He's just an all-around good athlete and well-adjusted ball player. One on Meacham. You know, that time he showed bunt, then he brought the bat back a little bit as if he might try to slap at the pitch. But he took it for a ball, 2-1. Meacham looks down to Gene Michael for a sign. I don't believe that time he would have bunted. Occasionally, we'll pick Guidry up for you. He was throwing pretty well, pretty loose down in the bullpen. Now he bunts, and that was really a bunt for a base hit. His feet were moving. He was not butting to sacrifice Randolph over.
Yeah, he was trying to drag the ball. He was trying to drag it down the first baseline or the third baseline. One of those deals where, well, you either make it perfect or nothing, you know.
So the count on him is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foul ball back in the crowd. We're tied 2-2 here in the top of the 5th inning. The Yankees definitely have a chance to finish as high as second. They must overcome a 3.5 game Blue Jay lead to do so. Foul will be back in the crowd below us. The Blue Jays had an opportunity when the Tigers came in. They had a 4-0 lead in the first game of the Tigers series and really blew it. And the Tigers went on to sweep the series, thus all but eliminating Toronto from any chance of a division title. Foul ball again back in the crowd. Steve is feeding Meacham hard stuff.
He struck Bobby Meacham out the first time on a slider down and in. Bobby looked at. But it might have something to do, too, with Willie Randolph on at first base. A lot of fastballs. You get as a second place hitter when you have a speedster over at first.
3-2. Now we'll see if Yogi Berra elects to put Randolph in motion with nobody out.
Come on, David.
And again, I think Meacham can look for a fastball. Very often, Steve will throw the breaking pitch 3-2, or when he's behind in the count. Doesn't matter to him. Randolph goes, and it is lined. Base hit into right field. Randolph should go to third, and the throw there is offline. Meacham not able to advance past first, and the Yankees have runners on the corners.
Well, here it is again, and you're right, he did get a fastball, and a liner right into that gap past Alfredo Griffin, and a one-hopper. You got to remember, as a base runner, the ball gets to the outfielders very, very quickly on this artificial surface. You know, they don't have that grass to stop it, as the outfielder would have to charge it, but so as a base runner, it becomes a little, you got to be a little more observative on the bases with this fast turf.
And that one bounce throw from the outfield in will get to the man covering the bag, I think, quicker. Mattingly hits it deep to right field, and it's gone. Home run for Don Mattingly, and the Yankees go out in front by a score of 5-2. Don Mattingly has just hit his 21st home run of the year for a total of 95 runs batted in. Here he comes down the line from third. Well, fans, you know what happens. Every time a Yankee hits a home run, hey, Don Mattingly, this bud's for you.
Well, there was no looking back on that swing. That's a beautiful swing by Don Mattingly. You can see George Bell going back, but that's way over the right field fence out there in the end zone territory where they play football here at Exhibition Stadium.
You gonna give him 6 points for it?
Yeah, you give him at least 3 points.
Ron Musselman starts warming up, right-hander. And Winfield the batter. That was Mattingly's second hit of the game, giving him 4 RBIs for the night. He has a double and a homer. Other time up, he struck out. Nobody out here in the 5th. That is out of play. That'll be in the crowd.
Mattingly now has 96 RBIs on the year. No doubt that he'll go over the 100 mark.
Maybe tonight.
Night's not over with.
That's right. Winfield is 0 for 2 tonight. He is currently hitting .351. Mattingly should be at .351 also with 2 for 3.
Right close to it.
They're going to be, if not tied, within a percentage point or a fraction thereof. time this year Mattingly has homered against Steve. I don't know whether Dave is talking to himself out there on the mound or what, or just grimacing. Winfield walks.
Well, you know, you look for the something, you know, just I'm just bringing it up, of course, but you say, well, who's going? Bobby Cox is on his way to the mound. That might be off for Steve, but you say, who's going to have the advantage? Say the last 10 ball games of the season, Winfield or Mattingly. And as I look at the schedule, 7 of the 10 ball games are against the Detroit Tigers.
Yep.
And what that tells me is the Detroit Tigers have a lot of right-handed pitchers. So being Mattingly the left-handed batter and Winfield the right-handed batter, it might be a little more difficult on Dave Winfield, say the last 10 ball games.
Good observation, Bob. That is true. The Tigers are predominantly a right-hand pitching staff. Well, Cox stays with Steve, who will pitch to Baylor. Baylor is forced to runner and been hit with a pitch. He's 0 for 1. Strike one. Nobody out here in the top of the 5th. The Yankees have 3 runs across. Winfield at first. Foul ball. 2 strikes on Baylor. This is the first of a 4-game series here in Toronto. 4 single games. Tomorrow night, then again Wednesday night and Thursday night. The Yankees will be home against the Boston Red Sox on Friday night, 8 o'clock at Yankee Stadium. Both Sox will also be in Saturday and Sunday. No balls, 2 strikes. And now it's 1-2 as Steve wastes one high. Winfield at first base. Willie Upshaw holding the bag. First base umpire in the background is Davey Phillips, one of the better umpires in the American League. That struck him out. The first out of the inning and strikeout number 6 for Steve.
Fielder number 33, Ken Griffey.
Ken Griffey has singled a drive and a run and popped up. Griffin, nice play to Fernandez, and back across in time. 4-6-3 double play to retire the side. The Yankees score 3 runs on 3 hits. The middle of the 5th inning here in Toronto. The Yankees 5, the Blue Jays 2. We're now going to pause for station identification.
Well, Don Mattingly's 21st home run, a 3-run shot, is the difference in this ball game as the Yankees have a 5-2 lead now. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Alfredo Griffin will lead it off. He'll be followed by Davy Collins and then Rance Mullinax. There's Mattingly having a banner year, I'm telling you.
You know, Bobby Mercer, this spring I said to a lot of people publicly that I thought if Mattingly played regularly, he might hit 12 or 15 home runs. So now he's got 21. That's how smart I am.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know who the guy is, the guy was that moved aside for Mattingly to come in, don't you?
Now, who's that?
Me.
Hey, that's right. Last year. Oh, yeah.
Oh, I knew he was going to be great. I said, let me get out of here because this kid's due for greatness. So I decided to retire.
You didn't become his agent at the same time, did you?
No, but I tried.
You tried, huh? Yeah, I bet you did. Alfredo Griffin leads off the bottom half of the 5th. The Yankees are out in front, 5-2. Griffin is 1 for 1. He did not start the game. Damaso Garcia started at second. Griffin replaced him. Griffin bunted for a base hit his only time at bat.
Well, let's see some scores in the National League. St. Louis won, New York won after 5 innings of play.
Popped up down the left field line. Meacham is after it, and the shortstop is there for the play. 1 out.
Montreal and Pittsburgh are tied at 4 apiece after 3 innings of play. Atlanta nothing, Houston nothing after an inning and a half. And as we said earlier, the Cubbies came up with 3 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning to beat Philadelphia 3-2.
Number 10, Dave Collins.
Kuzman, Jerry Kuzman was a loser in that game. He's having a pretty good year, 14-12 now. Stoddard, Tim Stoddard, got the win for the Cubbies.
Here's Dave Collins. He's 0 for 2. Ground out to Randolph. Fly ball to Griffey in left. Collins has had a good year. 300-plus hitter. Fly ball to center. Moreno hardly has to go anywhere. And there are 2 away. You know, a few of our senior citizen pitchers have had a good year. You mentioned Kuzman. Of course, we know Necro on the Yankee Ball Club has. Charlie Huff down with the Texas Rangers. Been out of kindergarten for a few years.
Well, it's just if your body will hold up, you still got the ability. The ability's always there. It's the body that goes.
I'll tell you, though, sometimes they both go, and then you're in real trouble.
That's true.
Here's Mullenix. They haven't gotten him out yet tonight. 2 line drive singles to center field. Foul ball off the right side for a count of no balls and 2 strikes.
Well, when that happens, Frank, when the ability and the body goes, you move aside and let a guy like Don Mattingly come in.
And you go to the broadcast booth.
You're right. And then your mind goes when you go to the broadcast booth. No.
Don't laugh. Just inside.
Oh, I have things to look forward to, right?
That's right. Ball at 2 strikes. Mullenix platoons with Garth Orge over at third base. Mullenix is currently hitting .330. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Montefusco may have gotten a second wind. He had shaky 3rd inning, then came back to get the side out in order in the 4th. He's now retired 7 men in a row. Been a tough year on the count. Chest sprain put him out of action, and an automobile accident. Randolph gobbles it up. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Montefusco. On the Citibank scoreboard, the score at the end of the 5th inning, the Yankees 5 and the Blue Jays 2.
New from the Daily News, Tuesday Business, a weekly pullout section full of news that can help you get more out of your money.
Well, the Yankees will continue to battle the Eastern Division foes through the end of the season. When the team opens their next homestand is Friday, September the 14th. They'll be meeting the hard-hitting Boston Red Sox, who will be making their last appearance in Yankee Stadium this season with a 3-game weekend series. Frank?
Butch Weiniger leads off the top of the 6th. He's 1 for 2. The Yankees lead by a score of 5-2. 4 RBIs tonight for Don Mattingly with a double and a 3-run homer. That one is well hit, and that one's gone. Weiniger has just hit 1 out, and the Yankees go out in front 6-2. Butch Weiniger with his 6th home run of the year. Another end zone shot. Oh, Weiniger circles the bases. And fans, you know what happens every time a Yankee hits a home run? Hey, Butch Weiniger, this bud's for you.
Baseman number 46.
Well, there was no doubt about this one either. When Butch hit it, George Bell just watched it go over his head. He knew it was gone. He only made 2 steps backwards, and this Watched it fly over the fence.
And the Yankee dugout congratulates Weiniger. Here's Pagliarulo. Pags has flied out and been called out on strikes. Hard smash foul.
Steve has only given up 14 home runs coming into this ball game in 231 innings pitched. So now he's given up 16 home runs, but that's not many at all.
That's Musselman up again, the right-hander in the Toronto bullpen. Steve is a good pitcher. You know, the amazing thing to me about Steve, you never know about a player. I'll follow up after a pitch. Fly ball out into right center, not too deep, and the right fielder will be there. Bell puts it away. That's the first out. Steve was the Blue Jays' 5th round pick in the free agent draft in 1978. That means that 105 players were drafted ahead of him. And here he has become one of the outstanding pitchers, even though he's taken his lumps tonight so far. One of the outstanding pitchers in the American League. Moreno has flied out twice to center fielder Barfield. No balls, 1 strike. Foul ball, strike 2. Another fly ball to center, and again Barfield is there. 2 away. Willie Randolph has scored twice, reached on a walk in the first inning, called out on strikes in the second, and led off the 5th with a single. And he trotted home from third base on Don Mattingly's 3-run homer. First inning, Randolph walked. Meacham was called out on strikes. Mattingly doubled Randolph in. And then Mattingly scored on a single by Ken Griffey. The Blue Jays tied the score in the 3rd. The Yankees scored 3 in the 5th on Mattingly's homer. Foul ball. And 1 here in the 6th inning on Weiniger's home run. So it's 6-2 New York. Call strike. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Two and 2 count. Forgot about his good jump on the ball, and he pulls it in. So that retires the side. The Yankees got a run on Weiniger's homer. And in the middle of the 6th inning here in Toronto, it's the Yankees 6 and the Blue Jays 2.
Well, remember, fans, Ticketboro, the new source for Yankee tickets, has the best available seats in your neighborhood throughout the tri-state area, including most Sam Goody locations. To order by phone or locate your nearest Ticketboro outlet, call 212-888-9000. There you get a good shot from the center field camera. The stadium here with the fans. We were waving, but you couldn't see us. We're right in that area, just right above home plate. Frank?
Okay, Bobby, here is Willie Upshaw as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Upshaw is 2 for 2 tonight with a run batted in. Center field, Moreno in pursuit. Got a good jump on the ball and runs it down. I think Bobby Mercer that anything.
Now we
There we go. All right. Hi there, everybody.
Right fielder, number 11, George.
I think everything that the Yankees get out of Montefusco now is a plus. You got the 5 innings out of him, coming off the multiple injuries, the last one being a hip problem. I think anything that the count gives Yogi now is definitely a plus.
Well, he hasn't had that many innings pitched since he came back off the disabled list, and there's no doubt that his arm has got to be. He's still got to build his arm up a little bit. His last start, he only went an inning and a half, and then came up with that sore right hip. Had to leave the ball game, but he'll get better. But you're right, Frank. I think Yogi wanted to get 5 good innings from the count, and then he'd take it from there. But he's going to wait now. There's nobody warming up in the bullpen. He's going to wait now and just see how long he can go.
He's got a count of 2 strikes on George Bell with 1 out. A little bit off the strike zone, 1 and 2. Bell is 0 for 2 tonight. The Blue Jays have 6 hits off Montefusco. The count has not walked anybody. He has struck out 3. He had thrown 50 pitches through the first 3 innings. 35 of those 50 had been strikes. And picked off by Pagliarulo.
Only one guy in the ballpark that can't believe it, and that's George Bell. He hit the ball right on the nose, and boy, that's a shin stopper right there, and a tough play for the third baseman, but he hangs on to it. Good play by Pagliarulo.
Nothing to it, he says. Nothing to it. Anytime. Willie Aikens is 0 for 2 tonight. Jays have 2 designated hitters. They platoon Aikens and Cliff Johnson, depending on the pitching against them. Foul back. Sometimes I think that's a luxury that a club cannot afford. You have, when you have to platoon in your designated hitter spot, you are really, I think, wasting a position. I could be wrong.
I think it's just the opposite.
Do you?
Yeah. But I'm talking about 2 players in the DH spot that also play a position.
Well, here you got 2 that really don't play a position.
Play positions, right. That's probably what you're talking about. But I think your DH slot ought to have a balance as far as right-handed pitching and left-handed pitching.
Well, if they can play a position, yes. But if they're just strictly hitters, I'd much rather have 1 man I could send out there every day, no matter whether it's a right-hand or a left-hand pitcher, and feel you'd get value out of him. That's Jay Howell, who has just started throwing in the Yankee pen. That could be an indication this will be Montefusco's last inning. Three and 2 count on Aikens. The Yankees lead 6-2. And a base hit for Willie Aikens. That will be the Blue Jays' 7th hit and their first since the 3rd inning.
Well, in the American League, Baltimore 2, Detroit 1 after 6 innings of play. Milwaukee 6, Boston 1 after 5.5. And it's Kansas City nothing, Minnesota nothing after 2.5. Mark Connors is on his way to the mound. Chicago's at Oakland. That's a later start. Texas at Seattle. In the National League, St. Louis and the Mets tied up at 1 apiece after 6. It's Montreal 8, Pittsburgh 4 after 5.5. Atlanta 1, Houston nothing after 2.5. And Chicago defeated Philadelphia 3-2 this afternoon.
I think Yogi sent Connors out just to be sure Montefusco was all right. He didn't want him to start forcing pitches. Ernie Witt, the batter. Witt has grounded out and lined out both times to Randolph at second. There are 2 away with Akins down at first. Mattingly is going to play behind Montefusco. Mattingly backs play behind Akins. He just let Montefusco know. I don't think Willie Akins is going to steal a base.
No.
Or try. 1-1 count on Witt. Witt is a member of the Cox platoon. He catches when the opposition has a right-hand pitcher. Buck Martinez catches when they have a left-hand pitcher. See Mattingly backed off deep. Weiniger knocks the ball down. Akins has no chance to advance. Two balls and a strike on Witt. Butch Weiniger's done an outstanding job doing the bulk of the catching this year. Missed a few turns because of injury, but by and large, fine job. Randolph throws on to Mattingly. That retires the side. No runs, a base hit, a man is left on, and at the end of 6 here in Toronto, the score, New York 6 and Toronto 2. Ron Musselman is on to pitch for the Toronto Blue Jays. The right-hander making only his 5th appearance, a record of no wins, 1 loss. He has pitched 9 1/3 innings, allowed 10 base hits, given up 3 walks. He has struck out 5, has an earned run average of 3.86. Dave Stieb went 6 innings, gave up 6 runs, 5 earned, 7 hits. He walked 2, struck out 6, hit a batter, and gave up home run shots to Don Mattingly and Butch Weiniger. So Musselman is on to pitch. Meacham, the batter, and here to tell you about it, Bill White.
All right, Frank Messer. Meacham is 1 for 3 in the game. And that's fouled back. Meacham got a big hit when the Yankees scored 3 runs in the 5th inning. Randolph led off with a single on a 3-2 pitch. With Randolph moving, Meacham ripped the single to right field. Randolph making 3rd. And then, of course, Don Mattingly hit his 21st home run of the year. And it's 2 strikes on Meacham. That gave the Yankees a 5-2 lead. Then Butch Weiniger, leading off the 6th against Dave Stieb, hit his 6th home run of the year, and the Yankees lead it now by a score of 6-2. That'll be cut by Griffin, the second baseman. And there's 1 away.
First baseman number
Excuse me, Bill, go ahead. Just say a little background on this youngster Musselman doing the pitching now. 6'1", 195 pounds. He's from Wilmington, North Carolina. Made it up briefly with the Seattle Mariners in 1982. Went 1-0 and only 12 games there in relief. Then he was traded to the Texas Rangers. And now on to the Toronto Blue Jays.
And it's a ball and a strike on Mattingly, who's batting .351. That should tie him with Winfield. This one's ripped to right, but right there is a right fielder. And Bell almost misjudged the ball, but there are 2 outs. Last moment, that ball took off, and Bell had to make a leaping catch.
Here it is again. Looks like a routine chance for Bell until right there he has to leap for it, and just does get it.
The right fielder, number 31, Dave Winfield.
Wind really blowing hard toward right field here in Toronto. You see the flags really straight out toward right.
We don't notice it here. We're shielded from the wind, but there are the flags. You can see it is blowing a ton out toward right.
Dave Winfield hitless so far in the ball game. He's gotten on an error. A play that could have been charged a base hit. He has struck out and he's walked. So Dave is 0 for 2. And he's at .351. So he probably leads Mattingly by a point now. Never get him.
He wouldn't have got him if he'd fielded it.
Nah. Fernandez seemed to slip just a little as he went in the hole to try to pick up that ground ball. We were talking on the radio side, Frank, about it being slippery out there.
Yes.
A little step he took.
Yep. You'll see him tippy-toeing around on that wet AstroTurf. It is very slippery. It gets almost like glass, and it's very hard to get traction for the infielders and the outfielders.
Here's Don Baylor. Baylor forced a runner in the first inning. He was hit by a pitch, hit the 18th time this year. Took a slow curveball on the left arm in the fourth inning and then struck out in the fifth. So Baylor's 0 for 2. Yankees leading 6-2. We're in the top of the seventh. Winfield at first base, and they're 2 outs. A ball and a strike on Baylor.
Musselman declined a couple of draft opportunities to attend Clemson University. Excellent pitcher down there.
Mullenix will play at the second base. He'll get the force on Winfield, and that'll retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, and Winfield left. We're going to the bottom half of the 7th inning. The Yankees 6, Blue Jays 2. Let's pause for station identification.
As we surmised earlier, Jay Howell comes on to pitch for the Yankees as we go to the bottom half of the 7th inning. Montefusco gave Yogi Berra 6 strong innings, allowed 2 runs, 7 hits, walked nobody, struck out 3. And Jay Howell, with a record of 8 wins and 4 losses in 53 prior relief appearances and 1 start this year. Howell, with 8 wins, has 6 saves, pitches to an ERA of 2.56. He struck out better than a man an inning, 98 strikeouts in 91 1/3 innings, and he's walked only 30. So Howell has really, I think, found his role, Bill White, in the Yankee bullpen as really complimenting Righetti. They complement each other out there in the pen.
Well, he's a big, strong fellow who throws about as hard as Righetti, maybe sometimes consistently faster than Righetti. The only problem is sometimes he'll come in and strike out 4, sometimes he'll come in and walk 4.
Well, he struck out 4 more often than he has walked 4, but I know what you mean. He is, at times, will come into a ball game and either walk guys or give up base hits. But I think, by and large, he has done an excellent job this year and has really led into Righetti in so many situations. Coming in like right here, pitch 7th and 8th, lead to Righetti if necessary in the 9th. He'll pitch right now to Jesse Barfield as we go to the bottom half of the 7th.
And Barfield is struck out and fly to center field. And a strike.
I've had scouts who use the radar gun in the stands tell me they have timed Howell consistently at 95 miles an hour.
He's a big, strong fella that sort of intimidates you sometimes because he'll pitch inside.
And he has a good breaking ball, too.
Hasn't thrown that big curveball that often. He's been going with the fastball slider, it seems. I don't know, maybe when you get in the bullpen, it's a lot easier to pitch flat. That is, the fastball and the slider, rather than break the wrist and come in with that big curveball. But he's got an excellent curveball. At least he's had one. See, that's that slider that's up.
And perhaps he's been told just to stay with those 2 pitches. I really don't know.
Well, this is going to be a fastball here. And he's low with it. 3 balls and a strike on Jesse Barfield. Yankees lead by 4. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning here in Toronto. The first game of a 4-game series between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Yankees with the chance to come out of here in 2nd place in the American League East.
They'd have to sweep the series to do it, but it's always possible. Now, a Seagull has just made a soft landing down at first base. Some of these Seagulls here, Bill White, I think they get so much to eat, they get so fat, they can hardly fly. He doesn't care there's a ball game going on or not. Now, what are you going to do? He's a protected bird here in Canada. You can't do anything that would disrupt him, cause him to have a nervous breakdown or anything like that. You certainly can't touch him. Oops. See, he's just had so much to eat, unless he's sick or something, he can hardly fly. Look at there. You know, and now one of the stadium personnel gets him to fly a little bit as he'll take stance out behind second.
Well, it's 3 balls and a strike on Barfield. Right to Meacham at shortstop. And that's the first out. Now, the last time we had a problem with the Seagull, we spent some time up here.
Yeah. We have an update from Shea Stadium. The Cardinals batting in the 7th. They have 2 runs in, a man on, and 2 outs. And they have at least a 3-1 lead over the New York Mets.
Here's Tony Fernandez, the shortstop. He's doubled and scored and struck out and takes a strike.
Montreal 8, Pittsburgh 4 at the end of 5. Atlanta leads Houston 1-0 at the end of 3.
1-1 on Fernandez.
Now Nolan Ryan is pitching that ball game for Houston. And for Atlanta, a youngster making his first major league appearance, Zane Smith.
2 balls and a strike on Fernandez.
And he and Atlanta lead 1-0. You're a young pitcher. How'd you like to make your first major league start against a Nolan Ryan?
Well, I wouldn't mind pitching against him. I don't know if I'd want to hit against him. And that's high, ball 3, 3-1.
This afternoon, the Cubs nipped the Phillies 3-2. Stoddard over Koosman.
And ball 4, Fernandez walks.
That's the first Blue Jay batter to reach on base on balls tonight. We mentioned Montefusco in 6 innings did not walk anybody.
Here's Alfredo Griffin. He went out to play second base for Damaso Garcia in the 2nd inning. In the 3rd, he bunted for a base hit and scored. And in the 5th inning, he popped up. So Griffin is 1 for 2 in the game. And that's a strike. Yankees leading by a score of 6-2. We're playing the bottom half of the 7th inning.
Griffin is well named. Isn't a Griffin an animal with wings on it that helps it move faster? He can still move very well.
Well, that's strike 2. That's a Griffin?
That's a legendary animal.
Bird?
You know, it's a half animal, half bird. It's like a Pegasus, that's right.
Never heard of it.
Well, I hope you've never seen one.
That's out of play. Where are you getting this stuff from, Frank? Now the cameraman says it's true.
It is true. There is such a thing as a Griffin.
Oh, I believe you. I'm asking you where do you find this kind of information?
Reading Aesop's fables, Grimm's fairy tales.
That's out of play. It's not in the Baseball Digest or Sporting News, though, right?
No, and it's not in Penthouse either.
No balls, 2 strikes on Alfredo Griffin. Fernandez at first with 1 away, and the Yankees leading 6-2 in the 7th inning. That's foul off first base.
What would the future of an Alfredo Griffin be now with Fernandez moving in, playing more and more regularly at shortstop?
In Toronto?
Yeah.
Might be a little dim. And Griffith is caught looking for the 2nd out. I don't think, as we watch that pitch again, I don't think the Blue Jays can afford to have 2 good shortstops who don't hit with power. If one of them could hit the ball, hit some home runs, they'd probably consider switching one, but I'm not sure. You got Garcia, who's going to play second base for you and get you close to 200 hits a year.
Yeah. And also,
this is Dave Collins, and he'll loop one to the shortstop, Meacham, for the 3rd out. Collins got jammed. No runs, no hits, and a man left. We played 7 on the Canon camera scoreboard. The Yankees 6, Blue Jays 2.
well, we go to the 8th inning, and a reminder to all fans. If you attend the Yankees-Orioles game on Monday night, September 17th, you'll take home a free baseball poster, compliments of American Home Foods. Good seats are still available for the Orioles series, September 17th through 19th. So make plans to come out to Yankee Stadium and see the Yanks take on the defending world champs and get your free poster next Monday night. Bill?
All right, Frank. Ken Griffey takes wide, ball 1 from Ron Musselman.
Now, not to be confused with a Griffin, this is Griffey.
Oh. left field, and we heard Mr. Collins calling. That's Dave Collins, the left fielder. Now, how about Calvin Griffith?
And Calvin Griffith? Well, he's not a Griffin either. He doesn't have wings.
Number 27, Butch Weiniger.
One down. Here's Butch Weiniger, who is 2 for 3 in the game. He singled a right and hit a home run. That's Clay Christensen out getting loose.
Just called up a couple of days ago from Columbus. He was with the Yankees earlier.
And Weiniger takes a strike. One and one. Weiniger's home run leading off the 6th inning gave the Yankees another run in a 6-2 lead. It was his 6th home run of the year and his 42nd run batted in. Two balls on the strike. We showed you the flags earlier. The wind blowing hard toward right field here at Exhibition Stadium. And that's low.
That was Jim Acker, the right-hander. You saw out there in the Toronto bullpen. Not to be confused with Jim Aker, who used to pitch for the Yankees. We're just listening to the paid attendance being announced, 21,176. That is below the average attendance here in Toronto. I was surprised, Bill. They're averaging, what, 27,000 here.
And that's a strike. They've done well over the last few years here. It's a good baseball town.
Yes, it's a good baseball town, and they've had good management here. I think they have built this expansion franchise very well, step by step.
And Weiniger walks on a 3-2 pitch. He's on at first base. That'll bring on Mike Pagliarulo, who's 0 for 3 in the game.
There's talk up here about building a new stadium for the Blue Jays. Whether or not it will become a reality, we do not know.
They don't know whether they want to put a dome on it or not. That's one of the arguments. Pagliarulo fouls it back and out of play.
I talked to the manager of the Blue Jays, Bobby Cox, earlier this year about it, just in passing, and he's sort of against the dome. He likes the outdoor baseball, and as I recall the conversation, he prefers grass to the artificial surface.
2 strikes on Pagliarulo. Well, they might have to change some things around. They put grass here. A lot of these guys getting base hits aren't going to get base hits. The ball isn't going to go through unless they get some real low, hard grass and pound the infield down.
You ever seen any hard grass?
Well, yeah, they had it in Dodger Stadium.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. You can call it. They keep it cut low and it grows, doesn't grow high. And they had a lot of little midgets over there with the Dodgers back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Hit the ball on the ground and ran like heck.
Uh-huh.
And won.
And won, that's right.
Because they had Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale. Pagliarulo goes down on strikes. They also had a Ron Peronowski. Maury Wills would get up and bunt. They'd put the starting blocks at first base, and he'd steal second.
The center fielder, number 22, Omar Moreno.
I think one year they won. Their top RBI man was Ron Fairley. He drove in 60, maybe 60, 65 runs, and they won a pennant.
When was that?
Oh,
60s somewhere?
back around 63, I think. I'm not sure.
Golly.
This is Omar Moreno, and he takes low ball 1. They had Fairley, Lefevre, Wills. Into center field, coming on is Jesse Barfield. No, the shortstop goes back. That's Fernandez, and Fernandez makes a catch. That'll retire the side. No runs, no hits, a man left. We've played 7.5 innings here in Toronto, and the Yankees lead the Blue Jays 6-2.
Well, we're talking about the possibility of a new stadium here. Some of the Toronto people here in the booth tell me, Bill, that the most likely location right now is a retractable domed stadium to be built on a man-made island just off the shore near here out by Ontario Place, which is a beautiful area, really. Ontario Place, that was man-made, wasn't it? That was built out. That's a man-made island, right? And they'd build another island out there and put the ballpark there. And they'd use this area here for parking. Then what are you going to do? Take a boat over or you got to swim? They're going to have a big bridge over here. I was just kidding. Have a big bridge leading over there. And that is a possibility. And as they say, the most likely one right now.
What are the ecologists going to say about that?
The ecologists?
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is Rance Mullenix. Meacham will hurry. And there's one away. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees lead by a score of 6-2. And with one down, we'll get Willie Upshaw, the first baseman. Upshaw is 2 for 3 in the game.
Baseman number 26.
One of those big storms comes up off the lake here. I don't know whether I want to walk across that bridge or not. Let's update the American League scoreboard right now as we go along. Baltimore is leading Detroit 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th. That's at Baltimore.
How about that Kansas City, Minnesota game?
Kansas City and Minnesota. Minnesota leads 2-0 at the end of 4.
Right now, Minnesota 1 game behind Kansas City.
Yep. And leading 2-0 at the end of 4. Smithson against the rookie Gubazan.
One and one on Willie Upshaw. Or is that a ball low? I thought he might have foul tipped it. Evidently, it's a ball. It's 2-0.
Milwaukee 6, Boston 3 at the end of 6.5. Don Sutton started the game for Milwaukee. He had to leave after the 6th due to a bruised right wrist.
Straightaway center, and Moreno coming on. 2 outs.
Oil Can Boyd was scheduled to pitch that game for Boston, but he's still recuperating from the flu, we are told, and Mike Brown started in his place for the Bo Sox.
Fielder number 11.
And let's see, Chicago at Oakland won't be underway for another 40 minutes or so. Same goes for Texas at Seattle.
George Bell. A base hit in front of Winfield in right field. And he'll hold it first.
It's an adventure to play the outfield on this very hard AstroTurf here. You may have noticed Winfield that time had a notion to come in and try to catch the ball, then realized it would take that big bounce, pulled up short, and even though he didn't have to jump to catch it, I think he jumped to be sure he got his body in front of it in case the ball took that big hop. Right here it is. You see Winfield getting up there to keep that ball from taking the bounce over him. Just really changes your entire style of baseball.
And here's Willie Aikens. Aikens is 1 for 3 in the game. And Howell's pitch is a strike. Howell came on in the 7th inning, so he has a chance to pick up a save. 1-1. Kansas City allowed Aikens to leave after his problems, and he was picked up by the Blue Jays. Swings over a bad pitch here. That ball is low.
I'll tell you, they gave up George Order to get him, and Order's had a fine year for Kansas City.
Right to Mattingly, and that'll retire the side here in the 8th inning. No runs, a base hit for the Blue Jays, and a man left on base. After 8 full innings of play, the Yankees lead the Blue Jays 6-2.
Now you're looking at a big Texan right there, 6'2", 210-pound Jim Acker on to pitch for the Blue Jays. The Yankees take on 2 big Eastern Division rivals during their next homestand beginning Friday night, September 14th. The Red Sox will invade Yankee Stadium for a 3-game weekend series to be followed by the world champion Baltimore Orioles, September 17th through 19th. All fans attending the Yankees-Orioles game next Monday night, September 17th, will receive a free baseball poster, compliments of American Home Foods. Jim Acker is in his 28th game, his 25th in relief for the Blue Jays. A record of 3-5, 1 save. Bill?
All right, Franklin. He'll pitch to the top third of the Yankee batting order. Randolph, Meacham, and Mattingly. And that's a ball. Randolph is 1 for 3 in the game with a run scored. on a comeback. One away.
Acker came to the Blue Jays. They drafted him out of the Atlanta Braves organization off the Richmond AAA roster. In the Major League draft of 1982, December of 82. He was 5-1 for the Blue Jays last year.
Here's Bobby Meacham. Meacham is 1 for 4 in the game. Meacham is now 1 for 5 in the game. And there are 2 outs. Don Mattingly, the batter, 2 for 4.
First baseman, number 23, Don Mattingly.
Those 2 hits for Mattingly have given him 4 RBIs tonight and a total of 96 for the year.
Trying to wait for his average to go up on the board. He takes low, ball 1.
I'm going to have to start carrying a little pocket calculator. There it is, 350, Bill.
Yep, about 1 or 2 points less than Winfield. And that's low, ball 2. Mattingly at 350.
There's all the information as posted here on the computerized scoreboard.
Home runs updated and the runs batted in updated. 21 and 96. And it's 3-0 on Mattingly with Dave Winfield on deck.
Baltimore's taken a 3-1 lead over Detroit on a home run by Eddie Murray, his 27th. It came in the 8th inning. So it's Baltimore 3, Detroit 1 in the 8th.
3-1. You see that stat on Murray? I think he's had 122 opportunities to drive in runs. He's driven in 104 of them or something like that.
I did see that.
It was really, he has done a phenomenal job of driving in runs for Baltimore this year. Nobody batting behind him.
And he points that out, too. All the intentional walks he's received, the times they pitched around him, and he has still driven in well over 100 runs. That is an amazing statistic right there.
3-2 on Mattingly.
Well, we'll see Murray. And the rest of the Orioles start next Monday night.
They're going to have to make some changes for the first time in quite a while.
Oh, yeah.
They've been bragging about that farm system.
They waited a year too late. They stayed, I think, a year too long with some of their people.
That's out of play. Well, we've been hearing a lot about that farm system. We'll have to go down into it next year and bring up some people.
I've talked to scouts that say that really they may not have that many people down in the farm system right now. You know, you will find times when your farm system will dry up a little bit for a year or 2. I don't know that that's true, but I've heard that.
Griffin at second base, and that'll retire the side. 3 up and 3 down. Winfield will not get a chance to hit. We're going to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Yankees 6, the Blue Jays 2.
Well, we have a change in left field for the New York Yankees. Brian Dayette has replaced Ken Griffey. There's Brian from New London area.
Next year we got to get him a halfback's number.
Get him down a little lower?
Yeah, he's got a guard's number.
And as we go to the bottom half of the 9th, the Yankees leading 6-2. Ernie Witt leads it off. Jesse Barfield and Tony Fernandez to follow, Bill.
Witt's 0 for 3 in the game. And Jay Howell's breaking ball is a strike. He has not thrown that sweeping curveball tonight. In fact, he hasn't thrown in a long time. 1-1.
Waiting for the opportune spot.
Well, you know, when they took Shane Raleigh out of the bullpen, they added that extra changeup to him. So maybe they only want the guys to throw 2 pitches coming out of the bullpen, the fastball and the slider. Right to Mattingly at first base for the first out. Gives you less chances of missing, I guess.
Here's that last one again. That pitch hung out over the plate. Witt hit it hard, but Mattingly with a little half leap pulls it in.
That'll bring on Jesse Barfield, the center fielder. He's 0 for 3. And a a strike. Somebody down under, a Yankee fan. Let's go Yankees. There's that curveball, but it stayed high. Took a little off of it.
Yeah.
A lot of Yankee fans up here in Toronto, and they come in from upstate New York. That'll be out of play.
You know, I'd sort of like to set up a Yankee souvenir stand right in the middle of the lobby of the hotel where we stay. I think I can make a little money here in 4 nights, 4 days.
Yeah, but can you walk through the lobby of the hotel? That's a problem, trying to get through that maze of fans who are always in there. Well, it's not a problem. It's good that they enjoy coming out and watching their favorites.
Now, if I could figure out some way to get the concession there, put a couple of players in there to sign autographs.
Well, that's your big problem.
Sell hats, pictures, books, jackets, baseballs.
That'll go through. Base hit for Barfield, his first. And base hit number 9 for Toronto.
You know, I mentioned George Orta a while ago being traded for Willie Aikens. Did you read that story about Orta? You know, they had a $40 million lottery winner in the state of Illinois a week or so ago. I read a story that said Orta had bought it, played the lottery. You know, he picked 6 numbers. He found out later he'd picked 5 of them and missed the 6th one. And his wife forgot to buy the ticket.
Oh, on deck is Lloyd Moseby. The batter is Tony Fernandez, and the count is 1 strike on him. And that's inside, 1-1.
Wouldn't that have been something?
Maybe he would have bought Kansas City.
If his wife had remembered to buy the ticket.
Well, they still would have missed by 1.
Yeah.
Mattingly, he'll go to second, and Meacham holds onto the ball. He was trying to get it out of the glove, so the runner at second is out. That'll be a 3-6 force out.
Here it is again. Fans don't realize the call on this play. They'll see Meacham drop the ball, but right there he has control of it, and he drops it in the act of taking it out to throw it. So there are 2 outs, and as advertised, Lloyd Moseby will step in.
Moseby batting for Alfredo Griffin with the runner at first base and 2 outs, and the Yankees leading 6-2 here in the 9th inning. A win here by the Yankees, they would move within the 2.5 of the second place Toronto Blue Jays. And a strike on Moseby.
Yogi Berra's taking no chances, Bill. There are 2 outs with a 4-run lead in the 9th, but still Righetti is loosening up down in the bullpen.
Moseby batting .279. Pagliarulo has time. Off balance throw, and the ball game is over. Mike Pagliarulo with a 5-3 putout. The Blue Jays in the 9th inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left. And the Yankees have moved within 2.5 of Toronto. The final score here tonight, the Yankees 6 and the Blue Jays 2.